covers easy way for Trump to crush Pelosi in 2018 midterms. The Trump administration is now deciding which initiatives and campaigning should occur in the battleground states to in the 2018 midterms. They want to energize the voters to show up and make another resounding statement to Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. According to Politico, the plan is similar to one used in 2004, when a slate of anti-gay marriage amendments boosted GOP turnout in 11 states, paving the way for the election of President George W. Bush. Advertisement. GOP strategist Karl Rove applauded the efforts after the 2004 election. He believed that it was crucial to keep America safe for 4 years longer. He was asked if he created the strategy and he denied it. In the current effort, the White House is considering initiatives involving tax reform and other economic issues to rally conservatives, Politico reported. It will be focused on red states where vulnerable Democratic senators are up for re-election next year, including Montana, North Dakota, and Missouri, according to Politico. Leading the rampage against Nancy Pelosi and the losers on the left, Jerry Gunster has given some sage advice after he was successful in making Brexit happen in Britain. Advertisement. According to Politico, he has discussed his strategy with numerous Trump aides. He did speak to Bill Stepien and VP Pence's Chief of Staff Nick Ayers. The plans are forming and will be put into full effect soon. The White House has not signed off on the idea yet, however, Politico reported. Probably it has some effect, Steve Linter, a GOP strategist in Michigan, told Politico about the strategy. It never hurts to have Republicans push on issues that are core to the party and that get people motivated. Some Republicans are skeptical, however. There are other ballot issues that the GOP can use to their advantage. Pelosi and her obstructionists could be one of the easiest tools to use. What do you think about this? Rex Tillerson fires shot heard loud and clear by every corrupt UN bureaucrat. Rex Tillerson and his aides have opened up to U.S. diplomats. They have said that the U.S. will have a toe print, not a footprint, at next month's UN General Assembly. The shrinking of the delegation is a smart move as Trump combats the globalists in the UN who are trying their best to take over America. Trump isn't taking any chances. The decision to cut back the U.S. diplomatic presence appears driven largely by Tillerson's desire to reduce his department's budget. But it also sends a signal that the new Republican administration is serious about scaling back and refocusing America's global commitments. Advertisement. Exact figures are not known yet, but Rex Tillerson said that the U.S. delegation will evaporate by many hundred compared to those during Obama's reign. The U.S. government typically sends more than 1,000 individuals to the meeting. This includes the president's security officials. The jobs can range from nuclear negotiators to legal experts. President Trump wants to be sovereign and also cut expenses. There is no reason to send 1,000 to meet with a hostile force that is trying to take over the U.S. by eliminating the Second Amendment and opening the borders. Trump, meanwhile, is expected to spend at least 3 days at what will be his first UN General Assembly as America's head of state. This is longer than most presidents, but it must be longer because of the smaller contingent. Advertisement. Tillerson's top officials have told the State Department that if there is anyone who wants to attend the assembly or the side events associated with the assembly must get approval. They also said that approvals would be few and far between. In the past, multiple deputy assistant secretaries in the State Department have attended. This year it looks like only one will be there. The plans to cut back the U.S. presence, first reported by Foreign Policy, have added to the gloom of U.S. diplomats already feeling marginalized by the Trump administration. The president has proposed slashing state's budget by a third, and most of the top positions at the department have yet to be filled, with many bureaus relying on interim leaders. What do you think of this awesome plan? Laura Ingraham offers only solution to stop anti-Trump rioters from causing violence. Conservative radio host Laura Ingraham said on Tuesday that it is definitely the time to dub Antifa as a terrorist organization. This is a response to the frequent violent riots that occur wherever Antifa goes. We should also urge everyone to consider pressing this idea of declaring Antifa a terrorist organization, Ingraham said during an interview on Fox and Friends. This group is trying actively to intimidate, suppress free speech and violently attack people with whom they disagree. Advertisement. Laura Ingraham said that she wants the Trump administration to handle Antifa because of the harm this would cause and the lives it would cost. It's actually kind of scary how few people are willing to call these fascists what they are. It's kind of an amalgam of a bunch of left-wing anarchists and activists. There is not one central organization. They're all over the place. But there is a way to pursue this, and I hope this administration is looking at this very carefully because people could die here, she said. Antifa, BLM, and other left-wing organizations are constantly given a platform and a blind eye is turned to them. It's all because the media is brainwashing people into thinking that they're only being violent because white people are racist and trying to kill everyone. Advertisement. Ingraham also said that numerous important Democrats have refused to call out the radical terrorist organization. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, we are waiting for the condemnation. Barack Obama, all these other people. How about the Bushes? Have the Bushes commented about Antifa? I would like to hear them on that, she said. Imagine if the roles were reversed here and any type of conservative group that was taking bats and pepper spray to peaceful liberal left-wing protesters, Ingraham said. Imagine that story. It wouldn't have been on page A3 of the Washington Post. What do you think about this? New poll shows majority of Americans want welfare recipients to do one simple thing. A new poll revealed on Monday that 51% of Americans support work requirements for Medicaid, while 37% of American voters oppose the measure. Of course, Republicans approve in higher numbers than Democrats. Republicans support the work requirement 67–48%. Democrats are typically the party that doesn't want people to have to work for their money so they can own them in the voting booth. 46% of independents favor the requirement. Advertisement. Currently, no state Medicaid program has work requirements. However, many states have submitted waivers to the Trump administration to allow them to implement work requirements for able-bodied adults without children. Drew Altman, a chief executive at the Kaiser Family Foundation, made it clear that Republicans and Democrats have quite a different view of Medicaid. Altman said that Democrats see it as government insurance and conservatives view it as a welfare program. The problem is the Democrats believe that all money should be given to anyone who wants it. The GOP expects people to work for their money. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin asked the Trump White House to impose work requirements for Medicaid recipients. Kentucky would require that able-bodied adults without dependents work at least 20 hours a week to qualify for Medicaid. Kentucky's waiver would also stop Medicaid recipients for 6 months while they got a new job or increase in pay without letting the state know. Medicaid recipients would have to pay a fixed amount every time they go to the doctor, or they would have to pay a premium, just like the rest of us. Advertisement. Bevin states that imposing labor requirements on the Medicaid program could save Kentucky at least $2.4 billion over the next 5 years. Governor Scott Walker, another state leader seeking work requirements for Medicaid, said that social safety net programs should lift people up rather than trapping them in a cycle of poverty. We should treat public assistance more like a trampoline than a hammock, Walker explained. What do you think of the future of Americans and the welfare system? George Clooney voted worst celebrity in Hollywood for what he just said about Trump. George Clooney is one of many Hollywood lunatics in a chorus of losers that have been railing against President Trump. Yes, he recently had twins with his wife Amal, but he hasn't seemed to change at all. "I just have to clean the barf off of my tux," says Clooney. "It used to be my barf, but now it's the twins' barf. So it all works out." Advertisement. It's a new stage of life for George Clooney. One that you would think would motivate Clooney to use his brain from time to time. Well, he's too self-absorbed because his movie Suburbicon is coming out in October. It's supposed to be a funny, socially conscious movie. This means that this movie will be garbage. But despite the comic trailers, it leans a little more to the latter. Clooney believes the film, which peers into the dark racial tensions of 1950s suburbia, is deeply relevant to Donald Trump's America. It bristles, he hopes, with the spirit of Howard Beale, the truth-telling network newsman who yelled, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore." Advertisement. He bragged about showing the piece of crap to Norman Lear. Then he said when it was over, Lear told him that it was the angriest thing he had ever seen. Yes, he is barfing in his filmmaking. He actually believes pre-civil rights movement America is the American that President Trump and his voters want. He is disregarding the fact that Hispanics and blacks voted for him in record numbers. Clooney's lack of self-introspection and respect for the president set a bad example for his twins. "I won't speak ill of the children, but their father is going to do them a great disservice when he pushes his lies and liberal propaganda into their heads." What do you think about this?